I'm Tommy from TechNexus, and thanks for joining me on another video for this week's series all about Civil3D. Now, yesterday I spoke about getting some data out of InfraWorks into Civil3D if you didn't have anything to start off with, and today it's more about recap in Civil3D. So, similar situation, let's say someone comes up and asks you that they need is brought into Civil3D for whatever reason, and they have a drone scan or a photogrammetry model that was done in recap photos, so we can export these meshes out, and they do come into recap. So you can see here, if I zoom in, then we've got the millions and millions of points that make up that model, and we can change things like the elevation. So we can see here, it's sort of quite deep here, and then we get into these upper elevations here around the sort of maybe 80 sort of meter mark. And then you can see even, it might be a bit hard to see on the screen, but you can see sort of some wheel tracks in here. So it looks like someone's been having a bit of fun in the sand there as well. So this is something that you might be starting off with. And you want to know how to maybe even convert that into Civil3D. So once we're done, I guess, with the model and anything you need to do, we can make regions in here as well, I guess, if you really wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it as is for the time being. So what happens then is inside Civil3D, and I've got just the standard metric 2020 loaded. We go to the Insert tab and we attach a point cloud. And then what that will do is bring it in, and I can insert it as 0, 0 in Zoom, but I just leave it in its default position. And there it is there. So you can see we have the exact same thing inside Civil3D. Now, what you can do to convert this is you can pick the point cloud, and then the palette up the top here changes, and we've got a few different options here. So we can adjust the point size. So you can see I can make all of these points bigger or smaller. I've got options for the views, orbit, 3D walk, all of that kind of stuff. I'm not really going to bother with that. The scan colors, so that's the colors as they came out of the scan as well. There's some transparency options. We can change it to elevation. So probably adjust all of these ranges in here, but I'm just going to leave it at the scan colors. I'm not worrying about lighting just because it's a scan, and honestly I don't see the point, but I guess if you really wanted to, you could. Now, looking at some of these clipping options or cropping, so I can come in here and put a rectangle around it, and we can keep the inside or the outside. So if I keep the inside, it's obviously going to keep what's in there. If I click on the outside, then it's going to remove it. And then we've got the same options for a polygon. So if we really just wanted to concentrate on this sort of portion of land here, and then again we can keep the inside or the outside. And just select that, and I'll uncrop it. And then lastly, there is a circular one. So again, similar thing, and just keep what we need inside the circle. We've got section planes, so we can come in and adjust and start playing around with all of these section planes. Okay, and we can also just get rid of that. If we do select it, we can extract some edges, corners, and center lines. This one in particular for the Plant 3D is we can find the center of a pipe that's already been scanned as well. One of the other things, if you had regions set up in Recap, if you do select it and then go to the Point Cloud Manager, you can see here is where it shows all of the meshes, and I can select one of them and turn them on or off as well. So you can see it'll highlight on the screen. So if I select that one again, it tells me that's that mesh there. So again, if you need to isolate or take meshes, turn meshes on or off, then have a look at that function. And essentially this is basically like an XREF. So you can see here we've got it loaded in there. This is just the reference man, and there's nothing special about this. We can come in and touch other DWGs, DWIFs, DGNs, PDFs, or even Navisworks files. But the real reason for today is what we can do is select this, and then there's a button here at the top right that says create a surface from it. So you can come through, give it a name, description, what style it is, any other material, render material, layers. You can select an entire point cloud, an area, and remove from the selection list. So I'm just going to leave it at the default one. And then any options or filter methods for the point filtering, so planar, kriging, or none. So I've just left mine at planar, and then I'm not necessarily going to do it just because it takes a few minutes, and I don't want people, obviously you guys watching, to sit there and sit through it. So I just go to create surface, and then it will create it. There'll be an icon down the bottom right hand part of the status bar down the bottom here, and it'll tell you when it's done. So what will happen is you will end up with this. You can see it's created it, and the level of detail changes as I zoom in and out of it. So you can see here, if I zoom right into it, that it's got quite fine detail in there as well. So we can also come through and adjust the surface that it's created. So I've just got contours and triangles, but I can do 1 and 5 meter. And because it's quite flat, you can see here that there aren't too many contours on it. But this is ultimately, obviously, you can just go through and determine what you need to do for this. So you can see some of the contours around here, and how they will pertain to your project, I guess. So have a look at selecting the point cloud, coming up here and saying create surface from point cloud. And then, like I said, from here we can start manipulating this surface, because it does come in here as a surface, and we can play around with any of the definitions and and any other settings that we need to. And if I do select it, and you can see it comes in here as a surface. So we've got labels, legends. I can look at the properties of it. I've got the object viewer. I can edit the surface properties, surface style. I can add more data to it. I can edit the surface, adding lines and deleting points, and raising, lowering, smoothing, whatever else I need to. I can put a water droplet on it. I can remove any, resolve any crossing break lines there. I can get a volumes dashboard, drape images. I don't. I could probably play around with this a little bit later. I do have some of the images, but I need to merge the images all together as well. So this was done with a drone. Extract some from surface, so extract any objects and publish them. And quick profile views, but again, the reason for this video is really just to go through and show you how to get started if someone comes up to you and taps you on the shoulder and says that they need some civil work done from either a photo scan, so done from recap photo, which we can extract a mesh, or recap photo, so whether it was done with a drone or a laser scanner or whatever else, and then ultimately we can bring it into here and then start editing and manipulating the model. So that is really about it for today. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Please do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get daily notifications of all of my videos. And because it's been a short week, so I've really only got 2 more days, because we had a public holiday here on Monday, so I'll go through some of the create design options here, and I'd also like to have a look at playing around with vehicle tracking. So I think tomorrow we'll have a look at some of these design options, and then on Friday we'll look at vehicle tracking, and hopefully that'll be enough to get you going with Civil3D 2020. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for some more videos. See you later.